Beaver! Hello! Cheers! I don't even have coffee yet to cheers. I just fired it up. My snare drum's tilted. Good afternoon to you. Good morning. Cheers. We'll have a sip. I meant to start earlier today, and it's like, I came down here, I realized after the stream yesterday, I came back, I played, I did so many things, like changed hi-hat stands, I like cut some metal down here, I made a big mess, right? And then I went upstairs and did stuff, and then I'm like, I come down here today and thinking like, oh, I'll just like hit start stream, and I'm like, crap, I made a huge mess down here. It took like an hour to clean up. So single life is good. Yeah, single life is good. I had a Pop-Tart again this morning with coffee, so I can't complain. But I'm like, man, I gotta remember to like clean up after myself. So, Jose, what's up? How you doing? It's good to see you. Jose on YouTube. We got Beaver on Twitch. See, yeah, like you got to do that, right? It's like this is you could call it like the tracking room, right? And then I have kind of like an air gap room. It's not like huge, but it's probably like it's this wide, but maybe by 10. So it's a decent sized room, but it's built around the stairs that go upstairs. So it's kind of like this weird segue room into the control room, right? And the segue room now is just filled with cymbal stands and mic stands. It's like I'm like, I'll just clean up the tracking room, but instead I just take everything and put it into the into that air gap room. So I'm like, oh, I gotta clean. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I just kind of like, I don't actually clean. I just move the mess to somewhere else where I'm like, oh, see, I cleaned, but I didn't really. I just like moved a mess around. So it's good to be tidy and actually clean up. But yeah. I hope you're having a good day, and I hope you had a good rest of the birthday. We're gonna do some just single stuff from Carter's book with no feet, just hands, just a little warm up. Always feels great. It does. But the thing is, I'm always changing kits down here and microphones, like for recording sessions, usually, right? But this month I said no to a lot of stuff, and the things I do have to record, I told them, I'm like, I'm gonna take like a month of just practicing, right? Use this free time to like really work on myself. So I'm not really like, I got to do a proper clean while I'm not day to day changing everything, you know? Like to actually organize. Dark, what's up? I have so much drum hardware that like all these stands and stuff like that I don't really use anymore. So I gotta like either get rid of them or store them where they're way out of the way, you know? I worked with 2 different engineers. One was really tidy and one was, let's say, a lot. But was a genius. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Just papers everywhere, right? Mic clips, cables all over the place. I could be both, depending on the job. If it's like a really just intense thing where I'm like, all right, next, boom, boom, boom. I create just like a trash heap around me. If it's up to me, I'm pretty tidy. Usually in my work area, I keep things pretty OCD, I guess. But yeah, I've worked with people who, like, all the fast food wrappers and the takeout dishes and all that start piling up. It's like, dude, just clean up, you know? Oh, patch leads. Yep. Used to eat them. I can't talk about patch leads. I got patch cables all over the floor in the control room right now. Because basically, I'm just using 3 mics right now. This ribbon, the stereo ribbon, and the D12. So usually my outboard analog rack, I've usually got, like, 20 cables going from, like, a compressor to an EQ to blah, 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 blah. But now there's, like, 2. Or there's 4, right? Just going from the master bus back out. So it's kind of funny. So I just have all the cables. One day I just went, it just went dunk. Yeah, D12 is so good. I will say this. It's not an OG D12. It's the D12 VR. It's essentially like a modern D12, but it has 3 switches, like 3 how do I put it, kind of like built-in EQs. So if you engage phantom power, it will, in the middle position, it I think it cuts around 400, so it's flat and then cuts 400. I have it on the green setting, so it just it flat, has a mid cut and a low boost, and then all the way to the right, I think it's purple, and it does a mid cut, high, and a low boost. So it's kind of like a built-in EQ in it. So here, I'll solo it for you. It's right at the bottom of the kick. I'll turn it up too. Whoops. So there's nothing on it. It just sounds nice. Wait, undo. How do I? There we go. So I looked for like a really good condition. I'm trying to think, like the 70s D12s, like late 70s, right? That was like the heyday of those things, right? Into the 80s, and they were just, I was like, I'll just get a new one. Because you can't go by pictures, right? They're like, oh, it's in great condition. You're like, is it though? It kind of looks like it's falling apart. But they're like, oh no, I use it every day. And I'm like, I don't want to spend this crazy money on something unless I don't know, where it's coming from. Someday I'd like to have one, but I'm not gonna buy one online from someone saying, oh, it works great. It's like, I don't know. I don't trust you. Unless it's from a reputable shop. But I've only seen them sold privately, And they always say like, oh yeah, it's great. And I, used electronics or used microphones. It's tricky for me, right? Because that stuff, it fades over time. RE20 on the kick. I have, yeah. I don't have an RE20. Who did I last see use one and I was really impressed? I think Carter McLean had one on his kick, and someone else. They're great. Like on the outside, I'd love to get one, but so far for kick mics, I use the D12 VR, the Beta 52, the Shure one. I like that over the AKG D112. It's just a little warmer. This microphone is great on the kick drum, like out front, a little angled. And that other ribbon, the AEA R92, is really nice. And then I have the Earthworks. Beaver, have you heard of Earthworks? They have their kick drum mic, the the SR20 is really cool. I kind of want to mess around with that again. It's like a small diaphragm condenser kick drum mic, but it's actually, I've used it before and didn't really like it, but it was because of my tuning was just tuned for like not that microphone. It was tuned for, you know, something close and just capturing the punch, not really the tone, where the Earthworks captures the tone like honestly too well. So if your kit is just like, ugh, if it's just tuned terribly, it's gonna sound awful. Like just the low end and just the way it picks it up, you're gonna be like, ugh. But it's a pretty cool microphone. Very tight, so it's good for club stuff. Yeah. Cause they have like that? They're kind of like a shotgun microphone in a sense, right? Like the long body. Don't they have some kind of cancellation like a shotgun mic, or am I wrong? I thought maybe that was. They look huge, right? Like they're very directional, like 57 or 7B. So yeah, that would make sense for kick. Like they just cut out all that ugh, all the ugh. But one day, I remember looking at them a long time ago, and it's like that like gray color. And this is a petty reason, but I was like, ugh, it looks terrible. I don't want that in front of my kick drum. But now they have a black version, and I was like, okay, that looks like Darth Vader's microphone, so I might have to get one, right? I was like, oh, what's up with that microphone? It's so weird looking. But yeah, they're great for talking and low end stuff. They'd probably make a good snare mic too, like a center of kit, you know? Like I know a 7B here is phenomenal. They're great mics. All right, so we're just gonna do some accent stuff. We didn't do hands yesterday. We went right to the jazz. Yeah, for vocals. Yeah, what is it? It's a condenser, right? Or is it is it a dynamic? I think it's a dynamic, I guess. Ooh, see, my fingers felt good yesterday. Today they don't. Oh, Beaver, wasn't that beautiful? You should check them out. Postmodern Jukebox. What they do reminds me a lot of like Venus, like just the I don't know, like the presentation's very classy. They're very talented. The music is very thought out, very orchestral. Even though like I said, they take songs and go back in time, but they do it with a lot of thought and care. It's really good. Dynamic cardio, got it. Yeah. Ooh, left hand, feel good today. But they've been around for a while. You know, they were one of those like original YouTube kind of bands, or YouTube artists that kind of popped off in a good way. Today my hands do not feel good, so we gotta warm them up. Threes. I got tension in my left shoulder today. I don't know why. It's probably from cleaning. I'm gonna blame that. Trying to keep all fingers on the stick. I don't have a metronome in my ear right now. Just kind of going off of feel. I mowed the lawn last night too. It needed it. It's been like 2 weeks. Do you know it's July 4th this coming Monday? It's crazy. I was like, oh my God. With the family gone, like I don't know. I guess I'll practice. I don't really have anything planned for 4th of July. But I was like, oh my gosh, that's wild. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, triple it, pop, pop. So are you guys recording right now, Beaver? Are you guys working on anything in particular? because everything looks and sounds amazing on her stream. It's like, do you ever go back and like compare it to when, you know, like when you started? It's like, it's always fun to do that because you're like, oh yeah, we've come a lot, you know? Yeah, I'll have to get some fireworks. So who were the bands and artists that really got you excited originally about becoming a musician? The Beach Boys were probably the biggest one, Beaver. Go to fours. My parents, we didn't listen. My mom loves music, so we listened to a lot of music, but we didn't have a lot of records, you know? And the radio stations where I lived, we didn't get a lot because we were pretty out there in the boonies. So we got like country radio stations and, you know, pop. There was a pop station, but the oldies station. So I listened to a lot of oldies growing up, right? Because my dad loved like Frank Sinatra and like that kind of stuff. My dad's like a 100-year-old man in a like not 100-year-old man body. Most of the new music he's like, but he loves like that kind of stuff. So I grew up listening to that, and then my mom loved like Beach Boys, Neil Diamond, all that kind of stuff. So I remember listening to the Beach Boys in the basement on my parents' record player, just like a little kid. I didn't know, like, we didn't have any music stores by us, so we couldn't take like lessons anywhere. Like, no one played music that I knew of besides people at church, but they were like so boring and terrible. They're like, do you want to learn piano? And my cousins took piano lessons from this lady, and they would tell like horror stories. They're like, yeah, she like smells and she's got these cats. It's like, I don't want to take piano lessons. This sounds terrible, you know? And I used to go to their recitals and I was like, this freaking sucks. Like, I don't want to do this. Oh, Faze, what's up? And Amber, hi. Smorgasbord, yeah. And so I remember my parents got me like this little drum pad thing when I was, or Santa got it for me. And there's a picture of me with it when I was like 5, and I was just like, I had these like purple plastic sticks and I just play it all the time. I used to make drum sets. Like, I always knew what the drummer was doing. I don't know how to describe it. I must have saw a drummer on TV at some point and been like, oh, okay, so that's the foot snare. And I just used to like drum to the Beach Boys in the basement, you know, like, wouldn't it be nice? You know, I did that for years. And then in 5th grade, I tried to join band, and they were like, we already have drummers. You could play oboe. And I was like, screw this. This is definitely not happening. So I didn't even think about it until high school. Actually, a friend of mine, she's gonna come over and record something here because like I said, I really want to get into like recording, like eventually opening a studio someday. So I asked her, I'm like, do you have anything you want to record? She's a brilliant songwriter, amazing like singer songwriter and drummer, and she was the drummer in high school, right? And she knew I was like, always loved drums. I always talked about them, or I would get like, ask her questions, and I'm like, what are you doing? You know, it always intrigued me. And one day we were at a pep rally, and you know, she had just a kick, snare, and hi-hat. And she's like, come play We Will Rock You. I'm like, what? I don't know how to play. She's like, just do that. I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And then I was hooked after that, 100%. So I got a drum set and just kind of taught myself. But I guess I love like, you know, Blink-182, punk music. That was my edginess back in the day. And Faze, you better not be working too hard. Astro, hi. One of my favorite Neil Diamond songs is Forever in Blue Jeans. Yes. Oh, man. I actually stole records from my aunt, too. Like, we just had one Beach Boys record, and my aunt had a bunch, so I took them one day. We were over visiting. I snuck them in the car, and then my mom's like, you can't do that. You got to go ask her if you can borrow these. I was like, I thought she would say no. I actually got in trouble for taking them. But, yeah, my aunt let me have them. I still have those records today. I listened to them just nonstop in the summer when school was off. I hated going outside. I'm not like an outdoors person. Sports to me are just like, ugh. I hate bugs. I hate the heat. So in the summer, I just hung out in the basement where it was cool and listened to records as a kid. So yeah, that was my, I guess. I'm gonna go left hand. That was my beginnings. Tulip, what's up? Hello. And Brandon, Blink-182. Yeah, well, Travis, it was before Travis was in the band, like with Damn It and all that. So when Travis joined the band, I was like, what the? You know, he's such and I hope he's feeling better. I think he had like pancreatitis or something. He's in the hospital. I hear he's doing okay. I hear he's doing a lot better. But when Travis joined for Enema of the State, that was like, I didn't know what I was hearing. Like, because I was just listening to a lot of punk. So, you know, like, and then Travis comes along and he's playing like, and I was like, what is happening right now? Like, I just couldn't understand what I was hearing, right? I didn't have a teacher to explain it. Those drums just sounded like someone speaking an alien language. I was like, what the heck is happening? And then, but that, you know, when you're young, it's like hearing a guitar player if you're just used to playing Blink, right? And then you go listen to like Steve Vai, you're going like, what the heck is, I don't even know how those sounds are happening. But so Travis was a big integral part of me hearing syncopation, you know, offbeats, stuff like that. He's just like was the person that I listened to. And then someone gave me a Dave Matthews CD, a best friend of mine, because he's like, here, this music sucks, you'll probably like it. Because I was listening to anything I could, any CD that I could get my hands on, like I would take it. Just because I wanted to hear everything, you know. Like I said, we didn't have music stores, we didn't have a CD, you know. Like the only place to buy CDs were Walmart, you know, and I didn't have a ton of money, and the Walmart was like 40 minutes away. So anytime I could get my hands on music or something new was like, whoa, because, you know, this is like the late 90s. Talking about Barker, yeah, Gruesome, what's up? So I was listening to, at the same time, you know, MXPX, Blink-182, and then, you know, Dave Matthews, and I'm trying to think of all the other, like, just not normal, Hootie and the Blowfish, you know, anything I could get my hands on, Goo Goo Dolls, Creed, you know, I was all about anything I could listen to. Because, you know, I don't know. I feel like I've always just been that way. Like, I've never had, like, a genre that I'm like, oh, this is me. Did you ever do Anything You Want to Do by Eddie and the Hot Rods? One of the songs of my youth that really got me into New Wave. Yeah, I think I have played that. Yeah. Eddie and the Hot Rods. That's so cool. I'm doing just basic kind of accents, guys. This is 4, so I'm doing left hand lead. If you do it with the right hand, like 1 E and 2 E and. If you're right-handed, you guys can do these at home. You just tap, just try tapping loud, soft, soft, soft. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But then try it with your left hand lead, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's completely different. Like your left hand is like, whoa. It's like leaving the house and leaving, like, if your parents ever left you in charge and you're like, oh. The left hand is just like not used to taking the lead. So you got to remember every now and then to let it be the one that starts it, as weird as it feels. One of the greatest drummers in history of music. I love that dude. Yeah, he's what he did. There's certain drummers in our life, I feel, or in time, that really pushed the boundaries of what drummers were to people. You know, back in the day, you had, you know, like Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich and all those. Then you had like Tony Williams and Elvin Jones. Then you had, of course, like Ringo, Keith Moon, Bonham, Neil Peart, all that stuff. Nico, Lars, and then Dave Grohl is probably a lot of like my generation. Dave Grohl is kind of like the whoa, like the drummer that kind of sent shockwaves around the people of my youth, and then I think Travis was the one of the generation. I don't even know the name of these generations. Generation JL, whatever. I don't know. I don't even know what generation I'm in. I think I'm like a post-boomer. Is that what you say? There's like baby boomers. I'm like infant boomer. I don't know. But Travis was legit, not just with Blink, but he started playing. I remember seeing him in a video with Diddy, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever his name is. And he started playing with hip hop guys, and it was like there's this punk dude playing with a hip hop guy, and it sounds really good. That was like 2000, 2001, something like that. And Muzzle, what's up? We're elder millennials. I'll take it. I was born in 82, so whatever that is. Elder millennials. But yeah, Travis was just the way he played was it's not like essentially how they're playing, but it's like how they're changing the music and how they're changing the game, shifting both music and like drummers, like the influence of drummers, right? Like if you look at drum sets and what's popular over the years, like it's not because certain things sound better or because maybe it's more ergonomical, more better way to play. My wife could be listening and saying my grammar's terrible, but you look at like trends, right? Like Keith Moon came out and Ringo for one, like turned Ludwig into a superpower, right? You saw that Ludwig logo on the Ed Sullivan Show and everyone was like, the next day, like Ludwig just went from here to boom, right? So everyone wanted that Ringo kit, that Ringo kind of thing. And before that, everyone wanted a Buddy Rich kit or a Gene Krupa, like White Marine Pearl kit. And then you get people like Keith Moon with these huge drum sets, and everyone's like, I need a big old drum set, right? And John Bonham with the huge bass drum and the huge toms. What'd you see? Huge bass drums, huge toms, right? And then the 80s just went like insane with Alex Van Halen, right? I think he was one of the big ones that was like, you had a lot of bands in the 80s, but I think Van Halen was the one that everyone copied and was trying to emulate. That was the one all the labels were competing against. It was like, all right, we need a Van Halen, we need a thing like that. So you had Poison and all that stuff. And Neil Peart is kind of like in that, just like in that like big kit, but like done really tastefully, Alex the same. A lot of people had big kits back then, but a lot of people just were like, blah, 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 but Neil was using it very musical. And Neil did have a big influence on how drummers set up their kits, but I don't think until later on, like a lot of people knew about Rush, but I don't think like people really got it until, probably a few years after they were out, like until it really clicked what they were and how freaking like nuts they were and game changing for so many things, especially with drummers. Like in the 80s, it was just like crazy. And then Dave Grohl brought like the Bonham thing back, but like with, sitting low, high cymbals, like just the big rock, like just, and you saw that all through the 90s, right? And then Travis came out, and it was interesting because it can kind of go with trends. Travis came out with, instead of having these big kits, right, like big boomy toms, like just, the drummers like trying to look over these huge toms, Travis had a small kit right? And it was low, kind of like Buddy Rich, like the jazz setup, essentially, but these crazy high flat cymbals, right? So it was like this, not only was he a fantastic drummer, he had great technique, he was insanely creative, but just the way his kit looked was like different, refreshing, and it made him play, a certain way that was just like, whoa. And I was into it too, I'm like, I used to do all that stuff. Cal, good morning. So when that happened, that was just like a wave of like the big kits started to phase out, right? And people started wanting like this kind of new thing that Travis was doing. And it influenced a lot of drummers. Some drummers adapted it, and it's interesting, but it's definitely like, they don't sound any better. They're not doesn't make you play differently, but it looks and all that do have a feel in it, He's known for punk and hip hop, but you can hear him from, oh yeah, like he was a DCI guy. He lied about being I forget what age you age out of DCI, but he lied to stay in it. He loves that stuff. So when are Netflix? Oh man. No, you know what, Beaver? I've learned a lot. A lot of it is just, you just kind of, if you're in it, you just pay attention. But a really cool podcast, if anyone's interested, it's called the Drum History Podcast with Bart Vanderzee. It's got a lot of really cool information on there. Not really about Travis, but he should do an episode about that. That'd be very cool. But yeah, Travis just went on to just be like, when you think drummer, right? There's always a generation where when you say the word drummer, they think
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Duke Silver!
Wait. Lagiro, thank you. Hi, holy crap. What a raid. Fan club, let's go. Let's go. Even in the shower. Hi, guys. It's good to have you. We're talking about Travis Barker. And warming up, doing some practicing. Hi, guys. The Luddies. I love it. Hey, I've got Luddies right now. Look. This is a vintage, a 60s, like mid-60s Ludwig. So, yeah. Everyone calls them Luddies. Awesome to have you guys. Hello. How was your stream? Thank you. That's super nice. But yeah, we're talking Travis and how he influenced so many drummers, and how drummers throughout different generations. If I remember when I was learning drums, my grandfather and my great aunts and uncles were like, "Have you heard of Buddy Rich?" And I'm like, "Yes." But I was young, whatever they're listening to at that time. Or the genre, there's always a drummer that people associate with, right? And then you go to my uncle, it's like, oh, you're learning drums? Yeah, how about that John Bonham, He's John Bonham. And then it's your cousin, oh, Dave Grohl, and then it's Travis. I don't know who would be the drummer for kids now. I think that that girl Natty in the UK, she freaking kills it. I think most people are thinking her right now. We're just warming up. Still Travis, you think? Yeah, I hope he's all right. Yeah. I heard it was pancreatitis or something like that. Something going on with his pancreas. So that dude's been through the ringer, I've actually taken lessons with Travis a long time ago. I'm talking 2003, 2004, and he was a sweetheart. He was super kind. He's a gentleman. He really knows his stuff, and he was just really nice. So I hope he's okay, jumped out. Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like he's lost, you know, a really good friend in the plane crash. He's been burned. He's had recoveries, you know. Like it's the guy's just he's a superhero, you know. And to still go out and drum, you know, after that, like I couldn't even imagine. Like I saw him at TwitchCon in like 2-3 years ago. Or I guess, yeah, 4 years ago now, maybe, in San Diego. And the dude played just like I saw him when, like, I was in high school. Like, he's still just, like, smacking the crap out of stuff. And look, I'm old. He's older. And I watch that and I'm like, oh, man, my back would be like, oh. But it's interesting. You can see him, like, during the show, you could tell, like, he's giving it his all, and it's very admirable, you know. He goes full swing all the time, you know. Even when he's practicing, you know, a lot of people relax when they're practicing, and he's just full on. He broke his right foot on tour and just started playing with his left. Yeah. Do you know who did that too, Gruesome? Josh Freese from A Perfect Circle. It was, he didn't break his knee. He like sprained his knee really bad. His right knee playing basketball during tour. Like, you know, they set up a basket. So he had like this all like locked up in this like, not case. What is it? Like a brace. And I saw him in San Diego and he had his kick drum over here. And Maynard at the time, like never talked ever during Tool shows. He would just be like, good evening, and everyone would like lose their minds. But A Perfect Circle shows, he's like, wah, 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 wah. And Pussifer, he's just like talking like crazy, being silly. He's got like a personality for each thing that he does. And I remember he came out and they played a couple songs and he's like, so Josh sprained his knee like 2 days ago, and he's still like, this guy just like went, okay, and just learned all these songs like essentially backwards. Like, and you wouldn't know it. Like if you were in the audience and you weren't a drummer, you'd be like, oh yeah, he's a good drummer. But most of the drummers are like, what is he doing? He had like his hi-hat over here and he was like double duty doing hi-hat and kick drum. It was insane, like to watch him do what he was doing. But he had just done it, so he just like overnight was like, oh, okay, yeah, just move it over. And Travis, you remember when he had a broken arm too? I think he broke his like left arm during Plus 44 or something like that when he was playing with them. So Travis is like I saw him in LA. He's got like his arm up in like this cast, right? Like a solid cast with like a brace. And he's like, it was like, come on, man. It's just crazy. It was a while ago, but like they're like, it's just so wild to see, you know? So yeah, thoughts with Travis. Axion, hello. Awesome stream. Yeah, we're working today. We're gonna do some fives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are cool. Usually like odd time signature stuff or odd groupings. Most people don't know, but like 16th notes you count 1 E and a 2 E and a, right? Triplets, triplet, 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 triplet. Fives and sevens are really associated with like Indian rhythms. So there's a lot of like odd groupings, a lot of odd subdivisions in that, in a lot of that culture and in that music. So how I was taught to say these are Takaginaga. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Takaginaga, right? Takaginaga, 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 da 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 da. Some people do like 2 or 3 hits, like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Talk again, talk again, talk again, talk again. Yeah, take 5. Right, march. 5 is a cool thing, but if you're playing, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, they're hard, right? They're weird to do. Like, you don't ever hear them in modern music. Here in like most rock and pop stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. I'd say bands like Tool kind of made them a cool thing. I was gonna say Schism is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What is Vicarious? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That's 7 too. I know Tool has a couple in 5. JBC, yeah, Gene Krupa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. 5. So what I'm doing is I'm playing a sort of like a French grip. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm playing using the fingers on the left and not doing like wrist extensions. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. So I'm trying to let the stick roll with the fingers. That's kind of what we're doing. Jambi? No, Jambi's 9. Jambi's 9. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, dun, 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 dun. Right? That's a 9. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. All right, now I gotta know. Hold on. That's. I always thought it was 9/8. Okay, playback failed. John B. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's 9, or at least the drums are in 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? Schism is 7, right? Oh man, I love this. Five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah! Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2. So 5 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gotcha. Yeah, it's both. Or how you count it, right? Ooh, they're good though. But that's the thing. Like sometimes Tool does this really neat thing where, you know, one will be in one time the signature and the other will be in another. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I like live. They're Pennsylvania boys. I don't know that off the top of my head though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm gonna play these as so in Carter's book. It's really cool. He has you do these as doubles and as singles. So 5s not just as singles, because when you do 5s, it alternates, right? Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. It's an odd number, so you're always changing where the accent is if it's on the 1. As a double, though, right? If you play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're left, 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 right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right. Ah! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Singles. One of those was gruesome. It's either Lateralis or the opening one. I don't remember. Right? Austin, what's up? It's cool, like 5s and 7s, like all these weird groupings. You know, some people it just doesn't sound normal. But it's just like what you're used to listening to. It's funny, I taught a student from India, and playing in 3 and 4 was, or like 6/8 and 4/4 was like the weirdest thing for him. He's like, this is so weird, you know. Blackout, what's up? Austin, did you have a good night last night? Everything good? I'm gonna try the right, left, left. So, woo! One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, when I do the up beats, like the tap up, I'm slapping the side. These are Minels. This is a Meinl Big Apple Dark, 24-inch, a dark ride, and 16-inch Foundry Reserves by Meinl. Or no, 15-inch. I'm sorry. Yeah, 15-inch. So they're great. Great cymbals. You drummer too? Yeah, the set is a 60s Ludwig. It's a beautiful kit. It sounds really good. I have it tuned up. We're doing like bop stuff all week. So it's tuned up pretty high, but it sounds great. Finger, good morning. How are you doing? Anything new? I'm gonna dog sit this afternoon for my sister. My sister and her husband are on vacation, so my mom is watching their dog, and she's like, "This dog is freaking nuts." So I was like, "Bring it over. I'll watch it tonight, and it'll give Toby someone to play with." So my mom's bringing the dog over today. Ooh, Maypac Storm, nice. Dog said, "Nick, what's up? 6-hour drive today. Finger." Oh man, are you listening to music, podcasts, or do you have someone in the car with you that you have to converse with? Because that's why I like driving alone. So I don't have to talk with anybody and I can listen to podcasts that I like. You know? The Dark Customs, nice. Those are pretty cool, man. Those are loud, aren't they? They're beautiful cymbals. Not loud, I mean, but like they're pretty aggressive cymbals. Are you into like more heavier stuff? T-Sizzle, what's up? Woo! What kind of dog is it? I have a Bernese Mountain Dog. His name's Toby. He's just a little over a year. And my sister has an Australian Shepherd that's 6 months old. So it is like, it's freaking crazy. It's got so much energy. It's just like, you could run around all day and never be tired. It's just one of those dogs. Like, they just need to run and herd and play. So my mom, my mom's like in her 60s. She's like, I guess I need a break from this dog. She's like, I can only throw the ball so much. It's getting pretty. She's just like, she needs a break from the dog. It's constant. So yeah, so she's a great dog, but just so much energy, And my sister, she's got horses and stuff. So my sister usually keeps her pretty occupied, but Amber, well, do you have any questions about him? Do you want to hear anything? I can't speak more highly. I love these things. They're great. I'm excited to try them today. I put a different hi-hat stand out here today, and they sound different, It's weird how all that sounds, like how tight the clutch is and all that. So I'm excited to play with them today. Just me and you. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Well, I'm honored, Finger. I hope it's a nice, pretty drive, and you got snacks. They cut through a lot of stuff, a little heavy, but also play jazz and worship music. Nice. They're probably great for the worship stuff, right? Like cutting through. They do have a very nice high end on them. How are they with jazz stuff? They probably get the job done. Fortunately, my partner falls asleep on almost any car ride. Yeah. My wife, she's always like, you can listen to what you want. And I'm like, well, you're going to be bored. Because, I love like drum podcasts and stuff. And she's like, no, I don't mind. And the last time we went somewhere, I put on the Wong Notes podcast with Corey Wong and John Mayer. And, like they're just geeking out about guitar for like 3 hours. And I thought she would be bored with it, but she was actually like, this is actually really cool. So it's neat. She likes certain things. Now, I know certain drum podcasts, she'd be like, okay. Let's find something else. But it was some of them are done really well. You don't know if I should get 15 or 14? Well, what hi-hat do you use now, Amber? Or would this be like your first one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Jazz, not good. Man, isn't that funny how like the cymbal really does matter for whatever you're trying to play? I remember I had these, and when I was in college, I had like just Z Customs, right? Because speaking of Travis, that's what Travis was using. And Morgan Rose and all these drummers I was like really listening to at the time. That was like the rock cymbal. Zildjian Z Customs. They weighed like 50 pounds each. They were super heavy. And I remember I had the Mega Bell ride. It's like this like insanely heavy. The bell on it is like as big as the cymbal. It's huge. And in college, I was taking like jazz drums, you know, and like certain things. And I remember playing jazz, you know, being in my practice room going like on this like Mega Bell ride and just being like, oh my God, like this is terrible. Like I'm not going to learn how to play jazz on this thing. So yeah, it does make a big difference, like like matching the cymbal to the genre. You know, it'd be like trying to learn, I don't know, like finger picking with like a like an Ibanez running through like a bunch of like distortion pedals and a huge, you know, a huge like 4-cab. You know, it's pretty funny. And then my low volume Zildjian 14s. Well, do you like the 14s? Because here's the thing, with 15s, I know it's just an inch, you don't really think of it, but that wherever you place your hi-hats, wherever you like them, like these are 15s, you can't really tell, but they're like, you can put a stick in between basically like the hi-hat and the snare, right? Some people have their hi-hat over here. A bigger hi-hat is going to mean that it's going to creep into your snare drum, and that might mean you have to push your hi-hat away more, and that freaks people out, especially with like 16s or 17s, you know, like that Steve Jordan thing. It freaks people out. They're like, oh my God. So I would say I love these 15s. I'll show you here in a second why. They can be very articulate if you tighten up the hi-hat. Like they can be super washy, they could be super crazy, but they're also very bright, but can be tamed with like gaff tape underneath, or like I've told you before, taking like just sticks. And Sully, what's up, dude? Did you get your geometry done? Sully's good people. Hold on. I'll do it this way. It's better. Oh my gosh, this thing is huge. Hold on. I can't today with this hi-hat. But even if I have to record something for someone and it's like super chill, or like just a really dry sound, just putting this on, right? Right, so it gets rid of that like glitteriness and the shimmer. If you want like a tighter, it doesn't necessarily make them darker, but changing the stick is also going to give you a big difference too. It still sounds awesome. Yeah, imagination, size. I don't know. Sometimes you don't need the big kits, right? But watch how a different. And Rec is here. Rec and Dan, what's up, guys? Holy crap! Sound fuller, has a lower pitch. It does, yeah. It all depends on, I think, what you want out of the cymbals. You know, if you want a darker sound, you know. But if you play really articulated stuff, a smaller hi-hat's going to be better. But check it out. Here's just different sticks with these, with a thing inside. A little bigger, right? So sticks are going to make a big difference, but you know, in how it sounds. So you're dry, you're so dry your skin cracked. Oh no. Oh. I see what you're saying. You marched with Zildjian stadium crashes. Those are freaking heavy. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But like the hi-hats, you know, these are it's just, it goes down to like how are you playing? You know, if you're playing a lot of like hip hop or a lot of, you know, like open close, doubles and singles, and you're using the hi-hats in a very like almost like trap hats, you know, that kind of stuff. If you're doing a lot of hi-hat work, you probably don't want something like this. Like it's darker, washier, a lot more like, it's more legato than staccato, right? Hi-hats, you have to think. Cymbals in general are kind of like butter, right? When you're cooking, it just kind of seeps through and connects all the ingredients and glues everything together. Like you have the kick and the snare drum, but they're very like quick notes, right? Especially if they're tuned with like a pillow inside or something. You have kick, snare. There's always this like break in between the notes. And what connects those notes when you play is cymbals, right? Like what you're doing with your right hand. Even if you're playing like 16th notes, you're still creating a silence after each time. The thing with hi-hats is that staccato sound it's going to determine like a lot of things, like how you feel when you play, how the beat feels when you play it. But when you open them up, that sustained note, this essentially becomes like a ride cymbal, right? Like it just connects all those notes like very evenly, very nicely. So if you're playing, you know, for me, I love that when it's not necessarily the closed sound that I love about them. I love how they feel and how they sound when they're open. That's why I love these things. So if you're a very like I said, legato player where you're just kind of grooving and I don't want to say slopping around, you know, but they just have a, I don't know, they match like my playing. If I put on I have like a darker, extra dry kind of thing. I like that if I'm playing like funk or like a hip hop thing or something, because the sticks, you get more stick definition and not so much that like that squishiness. They feel more like more tight, more staccato, right? So I think the Foundry Reserve stuff is great. But they're definitely a very musical. They want to sing. They want to vibrate. They want to do all that stuff. And Meadow, hi! It's good to see you. I haven't forgot about putting plants up. Legit. My wife asked me that like a couple weeks ago. But like butter, if you overcook it, it ruins the meal. Very true. Yeah. It's definitely a touch and feel thing, but Amber, I love these cymbals 100%, but they are expensive, and I think if you really, you know, have to look at like what you're playing. You know, if you're playing like, I'm trying to think, like just very like, if you're using the hi-hat a lot openly, you know, even like these are great for rock. They cut through, they have a great high end, but they still have a lot of body and stuff. But they aren't like the best. Like I said, you got to really close them up, and then they start to do that hi-hat thing where if you give too much down pressure, they just sound like, right? Because you're bending the metal, you're pitching it, and it sounds wonky. So a closed sound with these is still pretty squishy, you know. What kind of snare? Today we're using, where is it? Sully, today we're using, this is a Tama or Tama quilted maple snare. So it's a 5.5 by 14, and I got this back in 2002 when I moved to California. And it's a maple. It's got reinforcement rings inside, and it's super responsive. It's actually an orchestral snare that I am playing, edgy music with it. Meadow, I'm being edgy. Dun dun dun. Here's what kind of bugs me about my 15s. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like really look at what you're trying to play with them. I'm loving the chick with when you play like jazz stuff. Like I just love the sound of these. Because they're not like they're not like that annoying like just it's got like it's got a little bit of, it's got like some afterness to the sound, after the chick. The best quality of your hats. Yeah, no, I mean all hats are gonna do that, The edgiest, yeah, we're edgy boys. So edgy. Was that Zoolander? So hot right now. So edgy right now. Yeah, but Sully, I'm glad you're here, man. It's good to have you. But yeah, Amber, I recommend them. You can find them on sale sometimes as deals. I'm just going to do let's do 8 on the hand. I was going to do more of this, but I want to get to the jazz. Like I said, I'm dog sitting this afternoon. So I want to make sure I get everything in today that I want, because that dog is crazy. That dog is poison. It's a crazy shepherd puppy with tons of energy. And my dog is cool. He's a Bernese Mountain Dog, so he'll play for like 5 minutes and then sleep for 2 hours. He's like, I just want to lay on the couch, man. Let's not throw the ball anymore. So I'm gonna have a dog in the house today that is just like pure like energy, So I probably won't get to practice later today either. Dun, 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 dun. My mom's like, if you have to, just put her in the crate. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But watch tonight. I'll be like, I'm putting you in the crate. I can't do this. It's too crazy. But her and Toby will have fun. They'll tire each other out. I cleared up all the boys' toys and stuff, so they have the whole like living room and playroom to just like run around in kitchen. So they'll have a good time. I don't trust him outside running around because she's a runner, I guess. My dog, he won't go far. He like doesn't leave my side. But that dog, when she gets out, if my sister's not here, she'll just like book it, And I don't feel like chasing a dog that is 10 times faster than me and probably smarter than me. Those border collies or border Australian shepherds, they're so smart. Like she'll like hunker down, like she puts her head down like a cheetah or something. You know how like herd dogs like do that, and they'll like so you'll come around the corner and she's in like attack mode, and I'm like, is she hurting me? I think she's hurting me. She's like, I'm gonna make this guy go over here. Like she's like raptors, right? They're always thinking, testing the fences. So I don't feel like chasing that dog around the woods today. So we're going to stay inside and just play. Itchy nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pop, pop, pop. Yeah, my left hand definitely felt better yesterday. Actually, we didn't do hand stuff yesterday, did we? We did. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. Sin, what's up? How are you doing? I have friends in Vegas right now. I was looking at pictures this morning, and I do not envy them. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so hot there. Strange question. You're good, man. Go ahead, shoot. I have kids, so all day long they're like, Dad, would you rather eat cheese or rocks made of, popsicles? I'm like, what? So you're good. I feel like all day I answer strange questions. Seriously though, some of them like, what the heck? What are you talking about? The mind of a child. What's the worst industry you had to play through? In 2009, the year I got married, 2010. I'm sorry. It was the summer after. I blew out my L5 and S1 discs in my back. I remember when I did it, I was joking with my nephew. I picked him up. He was like 12 at the time. And I was like, I'm going to give you a swirly. And I picked, we were having a Nerf battle. And I picked him up, and I was like, obviously he's heavy, right? He's 12, 13-year-old. He's a big dude. And I remember feeling this like not a pop, it didn't hurt, but I remember feeling a little thing, you could feel it up your spine, that sound, that crunch. And I didn't think anything of it. I was like, whatever. It was a Friday night. We were playing still. We were still doing things. We were over at their house having a family dinner. And the next day, Saturday, I always taught Saturday mornings. So I went to the music school the next day. I had a bunch of students that morning. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, it's my leg, my left leg. I just couldn't get comfortable, right? And I'm teaching, and it's just bugging me. Not pain, just I'm like, what is up with my leg today? What's going on? And students coming in, leaving, and I'm just like, wow, this feels weird. It started getting warm, right? When you fall asleep, when an arm or something falls asleep, and then it comes back, and it feels all that blood coming back, that warm, tingly feeling. It didn't feel asleep. It was just that, just nonstop. And I'm like, oh man, it just felt weird, right? The whole time teaching. I come home. At the time, my wife was practicing she does marathons and Ironmans. So she had been on 100-mile bike ride that day or something nuts. She left at 2 a.m. She's crazy. And she came back in the afternoon, and I never like to go on walks. I'm if you were Dan, let's go on a walk, I'd be like, no. I'm just going to drive alongside of you and talk to you. I'm not a walker. I'm not a runner. I don't really do much things like that, hiking. I'm good. I'll drive there. So she said, she came home, and I'm like, can we go for a walk? My leg just feels weird. And she was like, we're going on. She got so excited because, I'm usually walking. And I was like, yeah, let's go on a walk. I just want to move. I just felt something weird. My back didn't hurt. My leg just felt weird. And we were in an apartment at the time, and I tell this story a lot, but we lived by where Britney Spears' mom lived, in this big gated thing. We didn't live in the gated area, but we could walk in there because we had access to it from where our apartment was. So we walked, we were walking by Britney Spears' mom's house. And I was, all of a sudden, I couldn't walk anymore. I'm like, can you go get the car? She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know. My leg felt like it was on fire. It hurt so much, I couldn't walk. And I didn't know what was going on. I was like 27 at the time, maybe. So I'm like, if you're having a heart attack, I'm pretty sure it's like your left arm. So I'm like, what is going on? And I couldn't walk. Like my foot, my whole leg was just on fire. Like, it was like going off. So my wife got the car. We went to the ER. They took an MRI. They were like, you probably blew your back out. It sucks. Here's some pain medication. Make an appointment with the neurologist. So I went like that week, and that's a whole nother story. But essentially, over that week going to see the neurologist, I lost my ability to move my toes. Like I couldn't, how like with your toes, like now I could do it, right? Like you can take your toes and do that. I couldn't, like, I could push them down, but I couldn't do this. I couldn't like lift my foot up. So like certain motor skills, like I couldn't walk. It was like walking with a dead leg. I did that for like a year. Seriously, if you saw me, you'd be like, is Dan okay? Because I'd have to like think about it, like just put my foot, plop it down, and shift weight on it. And eventually, like this part of my leg is still numb. Like you could stab me with a fork, and the top part of my foot. But the MRI, just from the neurologist said probably from drumming so much, like I just crunched my spine. So he's like, it'll come back. And I'm like, oh, will it though? Freaked me out. Yeah, Megan, hi. It's good to see you. So yeah, that's probably the hardest thing, because eventually I'm like, how could it be my back? My back doesn't hurt. Then my back started hurting after like a month. Like that, the way the nerves work, it's like wherever it was pinched, that's where those nerve endings were. And then it slowly, as the stuff started seeping and healing and stuff, then my back was like crazy in pain. I couldn't like bend over. I was always like, for like a year. And I still did gigs. And I remember, I think I've told you, I'm good right now, CJ. Thank you. I'm more than good. But I did gigs throughout that time, and I just remembered I told my wife, I'm like, you gotta watch me because I'm taking pain medication, and I would just load up before a gig, and all the people that I was playing with knew, and I'm like, I can play this show. I can play this show just fine, but just know that I'm seeing little rainbows and there's unicorns in the crowd. Just so you know, we're good. But, I would have to do that to get through a gig, and all kinds of stuff. And there was a couple times, where, I never had a bad show. And I told them, I'm like, if you feel I'm not doing good, just let me know. But I can hang. I'll be all right. I'm going to monitor everything. And, I had a lot of people, I'm like, just please monitor me, because those are very easy to start, just abusing, I guess. But there was a couple times where I did a wedding, right, with this wedding band. It was like a 4-hour show, and everyone was really cool. All the bands I was in, they would help me load in, and they were just the best. Like I had a lot of help throughout that time. And this one wedding we did, it was in Napa Valley, like really fancy winery. Like people were flying in from jets and like helicopters, like crazy wedding. And I remember we were playing the gig, so I took my medicine and I'm playing, and the bride and groom, were given their toasts, or best man, best woman, and the bridesmaid was just like going off on her speech, saying all this stuff, and I'm like right behind her because I'm on the stage, and I'm just like trying not to laugh. I'm just like, and everyone in the band's like, look at Dan trying to be serious, but I was like, I can't hold this together. So yeah, it was pretty funny. But that was probably the worst injury-wise, was getting through that, because I was worried about my right foot. There were certain things I couldn't play with a hi-hat because you have to pull up, right, with your foot. And I couldn't, that motor function, it was about 8 to 10 months before I got that back. So it was wild. I did all kinds of, I went to chiropractors. The neurologist suggested like decompression stuff. I went in pools just to like let your body stretch out, let that pressure relieve. I did all kinds of stuff. Because he kind of was like, you're too young for surgery, you'll be all right. And so yeah, he's like, just deal with it. But the funny thing was, because he found out I was a drummer, right? During that time, and like who I was playing with. So I'm sitting there with my wife in the doctor's office. You know, I'm freaking out, right? Because I'm like, am I going to, like, I can't walk. I guess, am I going to drum anymore? This neurologist comes in, he's like, so you're a drummer? Yeah, who you play with, all that stuff. He's like, you know what? My kid's a drummer. And he's like asking me all these questions about drumming, you know? He's like, so what kind of snare drum should I get? And I'm like, dude, can we not do this right now? You know, the neurologist is like asking me like all these drum questions, and I'm like, dude, and at the end he's like, oh yeah, you're good. You'll be all right. It sucks because he's looking at the MRI. He's like, yeah, you're in a lot of pain, huh? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I could do surgery, but I don't want to. You're too young. You'll bounce back. So he was right. He's like, but I went to see him a couple times just to check in, and yeah, it was a little scary. But I'll never forget that because he's talking about drumming for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, can we just? Am I okay? Like, what's going on? It was pretty funny. Good life. What's up? So yeah, that was probably the most pain I've ever been in when drumming. Because then, like, I've just been lucky. I've had to like baby my back. I do exercises. Like, I shouldn't say I do exercises because I don't, but I really pay attention to it, and I work on how I lift and stuff. So far, so good, Oblivion. I haven't like relapsed. I know, it'll probably come back someday, but yeah, that was nothing I've ever felt. Nothing, because your spine is weird, and I worry like whenever I get pains down here, I'm like, if you get pains in your hands, like certain things are like carpal tunnel, other things like around your fingers and stuff like that, like people that get numbness, it could be your nerves are getting squeezed or due to inflammation from carpal tunnel, or something in your neck, like drummers, we're constantly looking down now with phones, and just like the way that we move, like having your shoulders back. That's one of the reasons I'm working on all this stuff now, is because my technique, I didn't like it. You want to sit up straight so you can breathe good. Your heart can pump the blood the way it needs to, and it's not compressed. So you get better blood flow. Sitting back, shoulders back, head up. Your nerves are just. Your windpipe is open, all kinds of good stuff come from it. So it's always stuff to think about. Drum advice that you had to give and pay for? Crazy. Oh yeah, Ricky. He actually, that doctor, he was really cool. Like I said, his son played, and he was just, he didn't know anything about drumming. So he's like, do you come and do drum lessons? I'm like, no. He's like, do you come and tune drums? I'm like, no. I'm like, dude, I'm sitting here with I can't even walk, So yeah, currently sitting curled up like a gremlin. It's wild, right? If you really think about it. And certain things you don't really notice until you get older, right? When you're young, you can sit all weird and all that stuff, but your circulation changes as you get older. And how you're sitting can really keep you in the game longer, Jiu-jitsu, yeah. I worry about sprains and just hurting myself and not being able to work. So certain things, I love snowboarding. But I'm every time I go, I'm I don't go like I did when I was like in my teens. I'm like, because if I break an arm, you know, I can't, that sucks. Like that'll put me back a long time and I would go insane. So certain things, like really physical things like fighting and impact things, like I just don't want to, I can't deal with that, you know? So I would love to do something like that, but in the long run, I think for me, I'm already like, you know, a lot of impacts on joints and stuff like that with what I do. So anymore, I try to be careful. Yeah, dislocated shoulders hurt 100%. I did that snowboarding. We were just talking about that. Let's do sevens. And then we'll get to the jazz stuff. Can't imagine the time it took the flipper drummer to relearn how to work. Oh yeah, like that story. It's crazy. I admire him quite a bit. There was it was probably like 2 years ago. It was like Dateline or 60 Minutes or someone did or like Good Morning, you know, Good Sunday Morning or whatever. They did an interview with him. Like he does art too. Like it was really a cool story. If you guys want to look it up, it was like him and his wife were in it, and he's a really good dude. But yeah, like you could either, and like I said, my dad, like we do a lot of stuff with like the Wounded Warriors and stuff like that. And the people that I've met through that, you know, that show up with like no legs or, you know, amputees and all that stuff. And their outlook on everything is just, it's like, you can't complain, you know, like you can't. It's just amazing and like super inspiring. Yo, Dark, what's up? It's bumping now. That's right. Yep, you'll notice dynamics come back into play when everything's, you know. Oh, what's up? Plazina, hello. That's good to hear though, Dark. Yeah, when it comes to audio, if gain is too high and you're just like you're just overloading everything, dynamics go away. And the speakers, you have to think, so a microphone works by moving a diaphragm, right? And what a speaker is essentially a microphone, just the reverse. So it's spitting out, you know, what those two diaphragms are doing. So you got to think of the sound going in. You can change it, but it has to get the proper sound to come out of the speaker. It has to be at a good level so the speaker can move, because the speaker needs time to react to those frequencies, and it's reacting to all these frequencies at once. So if you're overloading that speaker, especially a PA system and all the tweeters and stuff, if it's just too like, the speakers are just they're gonna muddy it up and it's gonna sound like distortion. So when everything's in check and levels are good and EQ, compression, everything's good, it allows those speakers to move the way they need to move, which makes it feel more natural, which makes it sound better, which people react to it better. So yeah, it's good stuff. You do Christian rock? Nice. Yeah, right on. Yeah, like that's a big thing. It's a big genre. I remember, I don't really go to church, but I remember a friend of mine played at a church in LA. He drummed, and he's like, "You gotta come just to see, you know, me play at church." And I'm like, "Oh boy," you know. And I'm thinking, like, you know, okay, he plays in the corner, you know, like I just remember like the old church that I used to go to, and I was like, oh boy. I go in there, it's like a straight up like amphitheater, like straight up, like it's like the Hollywood Bowl, but like enclosed. The stage, there's like lasers and lights and smoke, crazy sound system. He's on a drum riser that looks like, you know, Def Leppard. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? He's got like monitor systems and like there's like pyrotechnics. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big industry. So yeah, I was like, I don't know if this is church. There's like cameras all over the place. I'm like, I feel like I'm at Oprah's show or something. This is wild. Like legit, there's like camera operators and like boom stands. So yeah. Good drummer though, really good drummer. But he got paid like a lot of money to do that gig. He's like, oh no, I don't really go to the church. They just pay me. So he made a very good living, like very good living out of that gig. Yeah, Meadow. I don't know. I see the church that I went to when I was a kid. It was just like, it's like they didn't even have electricity in it. It was just like a local community thing, and it was more like a community hangout. And we went to a bigger church when I was a kid, and I remember when I started drumming, they told my mom, they're like, well, he can't drum. That's not allowed. And my mom was like, okay, we'll see you later. And it was like, really? Like the only music that was allowed was like piano and like, I don't know, I think piano. Like that was it, and singing. So my mom was like, okay, we're done here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, pop, 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 pop. Most people are elderly. Yeah. Right on. Well, dude, CJ, that's cool. I taught a lot of students who played at their local church, and I think it's a great. If the church is some of them are amazing, you know. There's a lot of people that come up playing in the church, and they're slamming players, man, slamming. They're encouraged at young ages to just get in there and just play. You know, the confidence that comes from that is huge. I like the Philly churches. A lot of those cats, man, they grew up playing in the church. They're so good. Yeah, Oblivion. She was like, okay, thank you. Josh, what's up? A puppuccino? Nice. I don't think Toby's ever had coffee. Whoa. Trying to has doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Meadow, how are you doing, by the way? Oh my gosh. 7s are hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Up. Didn't you get rid of your DW, Dark? Or do you still have that white DW? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Da, 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 da. Yeah, CJ, I'm doing Carter McLean's book. It's really cool. Concepts and creativity to find your unique voice on the drum set. Blah 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 blah. Carter's a sweetheart. But it's doing 7s, right? So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1. So if you're doing them as singles, you alternate, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1. They go back and forth. If you do them as doubles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's on the second left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The first left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the second right. So it's like right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Da, da, So you get all these. You know, you get all these like cool little like either down taps or tap ups, right? But then he goes a step further and plays it with like ostinatos, foot ostinatos. Freaking hard. The sevens are weird, but yeah, it's a fun little exercise that really like gets you thinking way outside of your comfort zone. Like as far as like what you know, because we get sucked into like just singles, right? Like, but if you do it with doubles, you know, that same rhythm, da 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 da. You know, it's weird. I can't I can't like vocabularize, you know, certain things on doubles like I can singles. It's just not. This stuff helps with that. So it's a good brain exercise. No, definitely not. Definitely not, Josh. Probably not. I want to try a different snare drum though today. I'm gonna go grab I want to do some of these jazz exercises, these bop things, but I'm gonna go grab the Chestnut Snare. It's over on that shelf. Let me go grab that real quick. And we'll swap over. Oh. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Woo. It's that chestnut. This is from a reclaimed chestnut that me and my dad actually cut. Or it was from a barn beam that was like 200 years old. So this chestnut has to be at least 250 years old, at least. So yeah, we're gonna play with this today. Let me get the tom back up. I don't know if Muscle's here, but Muscle, you better hope today's your last day of crazy work. I don't like that. So we've been working out of the art of bop drumming, and so far we've made it to page 27. That's the farthest we've gone. Now page 28 and 29 are when it gets like real nuts. So we're gonna try this. It's like bass drum, snare drum comping. This is the hardest thing so far, and I figured today would be a great day to start. This is kind of like the last page of like the snare kick comping. So we're gonna go here. Pray for me. Like the Kendrick Lamar song. Cause I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need it. But let's raise this up just a little bit here. Okay. So we're gonna start. I'm no metronome. I'm gonna this is gonna be rough. Like legit. This is gonna be way rough. I haven't tried this yet. So some of these are gonna be just hurting my brain. I forgot, this is a bigger snare drum. I gotta lower this. That's why. Just like an inch. It's about an inch bigger than the other one. Or an inch deeper. This is something we haven't done yet. The broken up triplets with the kick drum, like the fast ones. Like the one that... that's fast. Like one that... That's so weird. How many more have? Okay, these get really hard. Oh man, this will be a rough day. This will be a rough day. This is so good though. This is so good. I'm so used to like playing like either eighth notes or like doubles like that, but those quick doubles, I'm trying to play them heel down. Constant, what's up? So I'm trying not to go super crazy. Astro, it's good to see you. You broke your first marching snare head last week. How do you do that? How do you break one of those things? How tight was it? That's like not carbide. What's it? I was gonna say Carhartt. Kevlar. There we go. It's Carhartt, right? I don't know if I've ever broken a marching snare head. That's crazy. This is the best thing I've ever done, is work on this stuff. So much to do. So much work needs to be. Woo! These are good. Yesterday, someone came in and said, like, just play something, like, to improvise. And the stuff I was playing, I was like, the stuff from this book is seeping into my everyday ideas. You know, it's really cool. It's really fun. So this is probably the hardest thing out of my comfort zone that we've done in this book so far. There's some really interesting phrases in here that I gotta really slow down to play right, you know? Oh no, one of your newer cymbals recently cracked? Yeah, they crack. Oh man, Lepre! That's right. Dude, what did you crack? I'm sorry. It's called the Art of Bop? Yeah, it's the Art of Bop. We bopping. We bopping, boys. Boys. So annoying. When people are like that. Oh, let's go, boys. It's like, oh, okay, now calm down. 16-inch Zildjian S. What's a S? I don't know what the S is. Zildjian S. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's not good. This snare sounds nice too. We haven't played with this in a while. Are like more affordable A's? Right on. Oh, I'm sorry. You're probably rocking out, right? Probably rocking out too hard. I used to crack cymbals all the time when I was playing like really heavy rock stuff. Like every week I was like sending stuff back to Zildjian and Sabian being like, hey, if you crack it, if you have receipts and stuff, they'll usually replace them, or at least they did. I don't know in today's, you know, with the materials and all that, I don't know what the return policy is, but you know. Any alternative songs? We could, but I don't want to today. Eagle. We're working on jazz today. Hardest thing with jazz is 16-inch is Is 16 on the ride? Oh, 16. What do you mean, like triplets? Well, I've been wondering if it has to be the garage heat. No, Lipri, you gotta think. Cymbals crack from two things. Let me get a crash. Hold on. And I don't want this to be an insult to you in any way, but this is what I've found over the years and what people have told me. I used to crack cymbals all the time because of how I had my cymbals placed. Okay. Now, if you look, I had a ride cymbal up here, but most people have their cymbals to where when they hit them, they're usually up high. I haven't cracked a cymbal in about 6 years. But it's partially like the music that I'm playing too. If you're playing like heavy rock stuff and you're like going out and you're playing shows every night, you're going to crack cymbals. It's just the way it is. But I guess you can't really see this because of the camera. Great example, Dan. When people play, there's a couple things that go into account of why cymbals crack. Look up that slow motion. There was that show back in the day called like Slow Motion or whatever. And just type in slow motion drummer cymbal. There's one with like Lars hitting a cymbal, Mike Mangini. And you'll notice when they hit the cymbal, it just goes right. Like it bends, it flops. It's made to warp and made to move. That's how they make the sound. They vibrate and they wiggle and they create sound waves which expand outwards, right? Now is this what a new symmetric marching has frequency? Yeah, exactly, right? I've never heard that. That's pretty crazy. But when a lot of times like drummers are playing like heavy stuff or even just playing normally, but they're holding the stick really I'm not saying like too tight, but with much more like squeeze than they need to. So when they hit that cymbal, you got to think of it like your hand is a shock absorber, right? Anytime you hit a drum, if it's choked, it's going to be a bumpy ride, right? For the drum, for you, everyone involved. Like there's this thing going on where you have to like relax and let the tool do the thing. So a lot of times, like for me when I was crashing, I would be so amped up, like bam, right? Like you just hit this thing as hard as you can sometimes, and how you hit it, the angle that you're coming at it, right? A lot of times, like people have them to where they're coming at it at an angle like this, right? And they're pushing into it and maybe leaving, right? They're just like, bam. They're pushing it down and physically like, pushing it and having a hard grip. So that's like, it's a big brunt of force onto this thing. A lot of times you could be like the cymbal felts could be too tight, right? So the cymbal can't really rebound. So that means it takes more of, the impact. What I found over the years, I can hit really hard right now, but it's like the follow through, like with golf or something. When I hit a crash, I'm not like hitting it and just like I used to, just like boosh, right? I'm trying to like play through it, right? Like you hit, but then it's almost like you get out of the way. Like a lot of people will stay on a cymbal, like. And the faster you play it, the thing that one of the reasons is that I don't think I crack as many cymbals. And you could have this be perfect, your angle of attack could be perfect, your grip is perfect. But once, let's say you're riding a cymbal, just this cymbal starts to move, right? Every time you hit it, it's a pendulum, right? Just like your stick is. You're hitting this, you're making it go down, it's coming back up. You need to learn how to play the cymbal and hit the cymbal to make that pendulum motion to the tempo of the song, to the feel of the song, and make that cymbal move with the beat that you're playing. And then you're gonna match it. You're gonna match it when it needs to be, and you'll create it musically, rather than just hitting it, you know, in like a million different places. A lot of people do that. They'll just start going like, and that cymbal over time, like they just can't take it. So when you're playing like a lot of these like really heavy things, or even rock, country, it doesn't really matter genre-wise. But even ride cymbals, like you learn how to play the cymbal and how to make that move to your advantage. So every time you go to hit it, it's going to be in the spot that you know it is. Even if you're going around the kit playing cymbal, you can hit it and you can have it move, so you know when you come back that it's going to be here, right? And if you're just like swinging on a prayer, you're hoping that the cymbals, because I remember playing and sometimes I'd play and I'd go to hit the cymbal again and it would feel like this, right? I'm like, wow. So the cymbal was up here and I just was like attacking it. I'm thinking it's going to be here, but it's like moving so much that it's here. So if you think about it, you know, really learn how to play the cymbal to where it's going to match your motion of where the stick needs to be. That's what you do with drums. You know, when you get a good drum sound going, watch that slow motion thing. You'll see the drum head go like, it's crazy. But you learn how to play with those movements of the drum, and you play to those heads moving, and it creates good tone. Like if you're playing like you'll start to realize like when you're hitting it on an up thing and you're like, ugh, it feels just weaker, thinner, right? Is it slab of copper? Yeah. So you get, you know, like I've beaten the snot out of a lot of my old Sabians that I have. Like I've used them on stream for years and they don't crack. So there's a lot that goes into it, and it took me, I would say, probably a good 15 years to really feel hitting a cymbal. Because I remember people telling me this. I'm like, oh yeah, I do that. Yeah, I play loose, whatever. But it's like when you really know you're doing it, you'll know you're doing it, you know? And Nooblish, hi, it's good to see you. 41 months, let's go. And Venom, it's good to see you. Nooblish, hi. But yeah, so think like, you know, there's also that thing too. If you're playing like the molar thing, it's like you're hitting and you're keeping it in check, right? Like you'll hear this little tap of like where I want the cymbal to be, and I'm setting it on the course for the next time I hit it, you know? Watch. Right? Like little things like that allow you to like maintain where the cymbal's gonna be. All those little things, but yeah, it sucks when you crack a cymbal. And I'm not saying it should never happen, but there's people out there like what's a good example? I want to say like Matt Gartz hasn't like cracked a cymbal in like I don't know, like crazy long, and like he's nuts. I know like Todd Zuckerman, I listened to something he was talking about before. He hasn't cracked a cymbal in like 20 years. It's like, oh my god, like these guys hit. You know? Um, I've seen people play my drums. Yeah. Well, yeah, they can develop fractures and stuff, and then maybe you played it and it was just like it was already cracked. You know, you just couldn't, nothing you could do, because it's an alloy. You know, it's a metal, it's a tempered metal, so you know it can start to weaken, and it might not take much. Hardest songs I played. Is a Matt Garska song. Yeah, dude, that guy's freaking nuts. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think people overlook how to hit a cymbal, because we focus so much on drums, but the cymbals are such a big part of like this instrument. And when they're played right, they just sonically, if you know how to do it with microphones, because there's phase issues too with cymbals, right? And we can get Moonbeam, hi! Oh my gosh, it's good to see you. We can do like an example. I guess we can't because I don't have a microphone. But a cymbal, check it out. A lot of people will mic cymbals and have the microphone kind of pointed like at the edge of the cymbal, right? Like right here. And how the cymbal sounds at the top and the bottom is kind of like a negative and positive wave, right? They sound like two different things. And a lot of times they'll have the cymbals mic'd up and the cymbals going in and out of phase, you know, depending on where the mic is. So you get this like weird sound. Like cymbals they're putting out a lot of energy and a lot of frequencies, you know, and a lot of clashing frequencies. This isn't like a major issue, but like certain cymbals, like two crashes at the same time sometimes can like sound really good and sometimes really bad because they kind of phase out a little bit, like certain frequencies. They just sound weird, you know? And depending on how you hit those and all that stuff, you can get some wonky sounds going on, you know? So yeah, I hope that helps. No more cracked cymbals, right? Moonbeam, is everything good? It's so great to see you.
What's up?
Pre. Only drummer I watch on Twitch after seeing some... Dude, cheers. There's good drummers. I was watching Craig today. Craig's one of my favorite drum streamers. He's legit. He's a big dork too. I love it. I love watching drummers who just want to hang out and drum and try things and talk about drums and just I love it. It's good stuff. But Hazy, thank you. Do I know Chris Turner? Civil engineer, hi. I need more context. Does he drum for anybody that I would know? The name right off the bat isn't popping into my head, personally. But I might need more help. Is he the guy? Chris Turner. I think I know who it is now. He's kind of like an alien, right? Like so good. Hold on. Chris Turner. Yeah, that dude's nuts. He's crazy. He's real good. I've seen a video with him. I think it was Craig. I think Craig watched a video and he's like, this guy. Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, I just didn't know his name. Yeah, that dude's like, you're watching him and you're like, this is programmed or this is some kind of trigger thing. And then you're like, no, he's the real deal. He's really good. Oliver Pre, yeah. You got kicked? Dude, I don't log into Discord because I'm the worst. But I got you. Yeah, he's really good. So who does he play with? I don't know much about him. Tommy, yeah, Venom, yeah. I love finding new drummers on Twitch. It's the best. That's Craig, yeah. He's a good dude. Like legit. He's a good drummer, but he cares about like having a good presentation. Like he takes that very serious, and I love that. I love that. Ocean's 8 Alaska just released a... Okay, I'll have to check it out. It's instrumental. The stuff I've seen from him, like he's playing like that, like purple kit or like a red kit, and he's like, but his feet, he does stuff with his feet, and I'm like, that's not real, but it's real. It's crazy, you know? Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah, I know exactly who he is. I already forgot his name. What's his name? Hold on. Chris Turner. There we go. Yeah, he's crazy good. Crazy good. Oh yeah, it's like a purple DW.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Right?
Mr. Duke Silver!
Yo, Master, what's up? Hi. He sits very high on the kit too. You know? It makes me think he's like an 8-foot like dude. Bass girl, what's up? Master, how's your day going? It's good to see you. How's your stream? Pan on your kid, seeing gaffer tape. Oh yeah, it looks like duct tape. No, it's sky blue pearl from the 60s, so it's kind of faded. So yeah, it looks kind of like duct tape. Oh man, schmickadillo. His symbols. Yeah, is it, or is he just like 10 feet tall? Like you don't know. Is he like, he looks like a Terminator? Like the way he plays is so like what's the Terminator T-1000 or T whatever? Master, it's been really fun. Yeah, we'll do a lot next week too. My kids are out of town for like 3 weeks, so it's pretty nice. But I gotta do some stuff outside. I gotta redo our deck, so we'll be doing probably some more night streams next week. I'll take advantage of the daytime for that. But I really wanted to get some of this stuff in, and it's been really fun. Pretty crazy guy though, Chris Turner. I'll have to check out his band, because that's actually some pretty classy stuff that I've heard on the videos. Are you good with decks? No, like we bought our house like 4 years ago, and one part of our deck legit is like 16 feet off the ground, and the railing on it, I got 3 boys, so they're constantly like running into stuff. But you can, it's a little wobbly, and so I just got to redo the railing. I don't need to redo the floors. The floors are great, but the railing needs some attention. So, oh, he's crazy good, Lepre. I love that guy. He's amazing. Like straight up. Takes you back to building one with your dad. Nice, yeah. Check out his solo album, or at least his drum plays. Yeah, definitely gonna do that. I just followed him on Instagram, so thank you. Yeah. I love following like drummers that are like legit. That style of music, there's a lot of phonies. I'll say that. And I'm not one to talk. I can't do that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of people that can play that stuff, but they need a lot of help to get it to sound good. It's just like there's a lot of singers that are singers, but like with auto-tune and reverb, and there's a lot of help. But the cats that can play like just straight up like that, it's amazing. It's amazing to watch, you know. Tommy Bean, I'll check it out. Yeah, right on. But we're working out of the Art of Bop Drumming on page 28. It's probably legit. I can't do a lot of this stuff well yet. This is the first day we're trying some of these things. So, yeah. Clown, hi. I've got a keyboardist that is way out of time. Do I put up with it and keep getting paid or leave? It's eating me up. You want to guess my answer? Is there a way you can get rid of the keyboardist? Yeah, if there's a weak link in a situation, I was a notorious terrible person to be in a band with, Meaning, like, if we were good, if you were putting in the work, we were good. But if you were slacking off, yeah, I used to fire people all the time. In bands, like, I'm like, just get out of here. Like, I can't. If someone's wasting my time, if I show up and I'm bringing 100% to a project and then someone isn't, maybe they're trying. That's one thing if they're working on it and you're noticing them working on it. But if they're just being lazy and not caring, I'd say get rid of them before you leave. Or if you just hate the gig because of that and it's just bringing you down, like, mentally, or just like your soul is leaving your body every time you play with them, I would leave. You know, if you got to pay the bills, pay the bills. But if you can get away with, like, leaving that and going to something else, I'd be out of there in a second. If you can't fire the keyboardist. Yeah. It's up, you know, because I'm all about, like, I'm just in this mindset right now. So it could be this mindset talking in 10 years. It could be different. I don't know. But my experience is your time is valuable behind this instrument. And you only get a finite amount of time doing this. So if you're taking time out of your life away from other things to play in a band or even to work, make it count, you know? You know what I'm saying? You know? So I'm sure, yeah, that's my answer. Old man answer, right? But that's, for me, that's like the biggest thing. It's like, if someone's wasting my time or not playing at a level that they should be when I'm really taking it serious and everyone else in the group is, you know, that's just, that you can't hang with that. Yeah, I've had so many types of singers, just, yeah, find your style. Yeah. But it depends. If it's like a buddy and you're just playing for fun, like, that's another thing. But if you're, like, trying to progress a career, yeah, like, it's like working with someone who's just not good at what they do, right? If you're trying to start a business and you hire someone and they're just kind of not that good, you know, it's going to hurt your business, you know? All right. We're going to get back to this. Whew, this stuff is hard. It's legit hard. A lot of these, like, triplet rhythms or triplet figures, we've done, like, snare bass drum comps. But there have been, it's usually been just like 8th notes and 16th note. Well, if it's been the middle note of a triplet, so far it's been just on the snare. But we're getting into the territory of having, like, 2 quick doubles on the kick drum, which is, it's new to me. Not new to me, but I don't ever practice it. So it's causing me a lot of, like, oh, this is harder than I thought. So yeah, a lot of these I got to slow down and really absorb. So we're on page 28, third line of this book, The Art of Bop Drumming by John Riley. And I kind of made it a point right now, and just to say, like, you know, it's like a workout thing. Like, I'm gonna run a mile by the end of the week or something like that. So this is just kind of like my workout. Like, I really want to get through a lot of this book, you know, just to work on it. All right, so. This over. That ride's too washy right now. I want something really articulate so I can really hear the ride pattern. Not like, you know. Okay, so it's basically one ta ta, two ta ta, ta ta, ta ta, ta. These are hard. We're gonna go back to these exercises, but I'm gonna play them as kick drums. That's really hard. That's not easy for me right now. Hold on, where are we at? I'm just gonna run through these. Man, where is it? There it is. Okay. Finger, drive safe. Be safe. Legit. I hope you're going somewhere really fun today. And have a blast. Eat lots of snacks. I'm trying to play these heel down too, so this is really, really hard. Touche, book. This is hard. Holy crap. So it's on 2 and 4. When the doubles are on the 1, 2, ta-ta, right? So you get that 1, 2, ta-ta, 3, 4, ta-ta, 1. It's hard. It's very hard. If I finish it, Cal, it's killing me. I'm like, yeah, we're making progress, and now I'm like, oh my god, I can't do this. It's so freaking hard. Oh, it's so hard. On hands, I feel like we can go through this pretty quick, but I've been doing just, you know, the 4 on the floor stuff. Whew, man.
That one is hard. All of them isn't too bad. Like one da do da do da do da, but that one and two da three da do 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 da do. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Too much coffee. I'm gonna walk, stretch my legs for a second, then we'll come back. I'll be right back, guys. Woo! All I'm thinking about right now is I gotta pee. I'll be right back. Hold on, I'll check on Toby too. Oh! Woo! Whew. All right, Toby is not happy. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Toby's like, where are you going? Can you guys tell me, too? I hate to ask, but can you remind me when it's in like 30 minutes? My mom is, I'm going to dog sit this afternoon. Says hello. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm a big dork about cameras. I appreciate that though. In good life, sunlight if I can, right? I know. No, I'll be outside today. Let me make sure my fly's up. 1 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, Cal, I know you guys have a million things going on, but just so I don't miss it, my mom's gonna come. She's gonna do some stuff around town, and I told her I'd watch the dog. My sister's out of town, so my mom is watching my sister's dog, and my mom is like, "This dog's crazy." Oh, yeah, dude, Dan, 100%. I don't know how to mod you over there. I have legit no idea. If you could send me a message how to do that, I'll do that in a second. 100%. I was a professional automotive photographer for a while and a huge nerd about this stuff. I love the line team. Thank you. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Everything I'm using is on that list. So I appreciate that a ton. Yeah. Oh yeah. They're going to go nuts today, Gump. And I need to relax a little bit too. I've been all this practice and just being in a mindset of like work, practice, you know, it'll be nice to just be like, throw the ball, pet the puppies, you know, so we'll have fun tonight. Besides, it's awesome to have you. That's really cool. Yeah. I started streaming with like a C920 webcam, you know, so I love learning about this stuff, and I'm not a photographer or a cinematographer, but I've learned some cool little like hacks over the years to make it look semi-decent. So I appreciate the compliments. More than you know. Name you. Okay. I'll do that later, Dan. Yeah, if I know your name on YouTube, I'll do it tonight. I promise. That's cool. Yeah, I appreciate that, Dan. Thank you. But yeah, all right, let's try these. We got a couple of minutes. So what I'm doing essentially is, if you go to The Art of Bop Drumming on page 9, there's these, basically all the combinations of triplets, eighth note variations that you can have doing a jazz ride pattern, right? So you have like the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then it's the shuffle 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and they have them do it. They have you doing them with a snare, right? But I'm trying them now with the kick drum because they're coming into play back here. Like there's like doubles, and I'm not ready for that yet. So go back to the fundamentals of it, right? Like really get these note placements down, you know. My practicing technique, yeah, I'm kind of working on some jazz independent stuff and jazz feel. It's something like I've been playing rock and all that kind of heavy stuff my whole life. So this whole week we're kind of diving into this book, and it's been really fun. So I got like a jazz tuning on the kit, and we're just trying to do some independent stuff today, really with the foot. So I'm playing heel down, and some of these get pretty quick. So let's go right to the doubles again, right? So in the one that's giving me trouble is on the 2 and 4. So it's that like 2 ta ta, right? Having that. It's so weird. It's so weird. Oh, I love it though. Already it's night and day. Just walking upstairs, night and day. Holy crap. Dan, dude, thank you. Can I do it just from right there anyway? No, I can't. I'll dude. Oh, dude. Dan, done. Dan, you're the best. Thank you. I think that worked. Let me know. a sad shuffle. It's like, oh, no. It's like the car's trying to start. Yo, Victor, hi. Thanks for sharing your information. I'm not a drummer myself, but your videos are helping me to better understand the concepts of tempo and when my guitar might be placed. Dude, let's go. Victor, it's nice to meet you. Yeah, there's a lot to it. And same vice versa with guitar players, understanding like how you guys blend notes together and, you know, long and short notes and how that plays with drums. Woo! It's a symbiotic relationship, right? So thank you for sharing, man. It's good to see you. Let's go back to this. 28, page 28. are way hard. Oh my god. Oh my god, these phrases are crazy, rookie. Oh my gosh. welcome. Thank you. Yeah. Doggy daycare. It's exactly going to be me this afternoon. Birch is very high energy. I'll take pictures. I'll post them online. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. I'm really, 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 really wanting to do this later tonight. If all's good with the doggos, I'll be back. I don't know. We might do a late night stream because no one's here. I won't wake anybody up. I didn't get enough time in today that I wanted with this. I want to get through all of these today. They're on my mind. Feels good. Feels good. Everyone, enjoy your Thursday afternoon or evening. And if I see you later, amazing. If you're sleeping when I'm on, I hope you're sleeping amazing. But I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, I have nothing going on during the day. So honestly, I'm shooting for like a 7-8 hour stream tomorrow. I know. You're like, what? That's so long. But legit, I want to really go through a lot of stuff tomorrow. And you got to hold me to it. I've been trying not to go super crazy too soon with all the practice, but I want to try to do at least a 6-hour stream tomorrow of practice. So, all right. I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm just going to end it because, yeah.